Welcome to Life Stories. What if the people closest to you carried secrets so deep they could shatter everything you thought you knew? Imagine discovering that your entire life, your family, and your very identity were woven into a web of lies, betrayal, and hidden sacrifices. Tonight, you'll meet a woman caught between worlds, torn by love, loyalty, and a truth powerful enough to destroy an empire. This is not just a story about wealth or power. It's about the cost of uncovering the past and the courage it takes to face a future built on fragile hope. Stay with us, because every revelation will pull you deeper into a maze where trust is rare and the stakes couldn't be higher. Now, let's step inside this world where nothing is as it seems, and every choice could be the last. Emily Hawthorne moved through the hushed elegance of the Sterling Room, Manhattan's latest jewel in fine dining. Her black uniform was a near-invisible veil, a shield that rendered her almost ghost-like to the wealthy patrons sipping their rare vintages and whispering deals over polished oak tables. But tonight, beneath the glittering chandeliers and the delicate clatter of silverware, Emily's world was about to fracture. She balanced a tray carefully, rehearsing the words she'd soon have to say in her head, the Mandarin phrases that had become her secret weapon and her curse. Her phone buzzed again, vibrating against the hard lines of her apron. It was Dr. Michael Hayes from the hospital. Her mother's condition had worsened. Emily swallowed the lump in her throat. Every night was a battle, tending to her mother's fragile health and navigating this world of privilege that never felt like hers. The restaurant's door swung open, and a hush seemed to ripple through the room. Nathan Hawthorne entered with a presence that commanded every eye. Tall, impeccably dressed, his piercing gray eyes colder than the winter wind outside. Beside him, Olivia Blackwell, his fiancée, radiated icy confidence, diamonds catching the light like warning signals. Behind them, Richard Cole, Nathan's chief advisor, carried the weight of the family's empire in his stoic gaze. Emily's breath caught. Hawthorne. The name she shared by chance, or so she told herself as she observed them. The same name that had haunted her dreams and nightmares since childhood. The irony was sharp. Here she was, a waitress barely scraping by, serving the family whose legacy was entangled with the shadows that threatened to consume her own. As Emily approached their table with menus, Nathan barely spared her a glance, his attention locked on Olivia and Richard. Then the unexpected happened. Her phone buzzed again, a call from a Mandarin number she recognized. Before anyone could protest, she stepped away and answered, her voice slipping into flawless Mandarin. The conversation was frantic, laced with technical jargon about a deal she didn't understand but felt creeping closer to her bones. When she ended the call and turned back, all three sat watching her, eyes narrowing with something between suspicion and intrigue. "Do you speak Mandarin?" Nathan's voice cut through the silence, the first words he had spoken directly to her. Emily nodded, the weight of the moment settling over her like a storm. It wasn't just conversational, it was business Mandarin, technical Mandarin, the language of power and secrets. That night, as she lay awake, the truth began to unravel. Her mother's mysterious past, the endless hospital bills, the debt she carried on her shoulders, all connected to the family she served. The Hawthorne name was no coincidence. Emily had never imagined that answering one phone call would pull her into a web of corporate espionage, family betrayals, and a past darker than she dared face. And yet, here she was, standing at the crossroads of loyalty and survival, with every step shadowed by those who would kill to keep their secrets buried. How far would you go to protect your family's truth when the very people holding the keys to your past are the ones guarding it with their lives? Can one woman's courage dismantle a legacy built on lies without losing herself in the process? Emily's phone buzzed again. This time, the message was clear and chilling. "We're watching. Don't trust anyone." The game had only just begun. What would you risk to uncover a truth that could destroy everything and everyone you love? And when the past and present collide, who do you become in the shadows? The light flickered, the city's pulse beating through the walls, and Emily knew there was no turning back. Tomorrow, the delicate dance of power and deception would pull her deeper into the Hawthorne empire, where every ally was suspect and every secret could be fatal. The morning light spilled through the blinds of the modest apartment where Emily Hawthorne lived, but inside, the weight pressing on her chest was far heavier than the dawn. She sat at the kitchen table, phone in hand, staring at the message from Dr. Hayes. New treatment protocol approved. Urgent consent required. Her mother's fragile heart demanded impossible choices. Choices Emily was desperate to make right, yet every step felt like slipping deeper into a nightmare. The Sterling room was already buzzing with the pre-lunch rush when Nathan Hawthorne's call came through. His voice was calm, almost chillingly so. "Emily, I need you in my office. Now." There was no room for negotiation. She slipped on her coat, grabbed her bag, and stepped into the cold Manhattan streets, her mind racing. Inside the towering Hawthorne Enterprises building, Nathan's office was an imposing cathedral of glass and steel overlooking the city. But the grandeur did nothing to soften the steel in his gaze. "We're on the brink of something massive. Lin & Long Corporation is finalizing the merger," Nathan said, voice tight. "Your role is critical." She nodded, biting back the unease. This was bigger than she'd imagined. Then, the moment shattered the brittle calm. "You're not just here because you speak Mandarin," Nathan continued, leaning forward. "Your mother was part of this, a pivotal player, or so it seems." Emily's heart froze. Her mother, a name whispered in hushed tones among boardrooms and back channels, linked to the very empire that had shaped and shattered so much of her life. Nathan's eyes searched hers, piercing. "We believe she uncovered something. Something that put her in danger. And now the same forces that silenced her are circling." The room seemed to close in around her. The woman who had taught her honesty, kindness, and sacrifice was not just ailing, but entangled in a web of corporate deceit far beyond Emily's understanding. Torn between fury and despair, Emily felt the walls of her world collapse. And then the call she dreaded, a video message from her father, Daniel Fang. His face, lined with years of secrecy and pain, flickered on the screen. "I never wanted you to find out this way," he said softly. "Your mother's past. It's the key to everything." He told her the truth she hadn't dared to imagine, that her mother had been framed, sacrificed to protect powerful interests, including the very Hawthorne legacy. "You're more connected to this than you think," Daniel warned. "They need you to play their game, but you have a choice." Emily's world spun. Was she a pawn or something more? Could she trust Nathan, whose cold eyes now looked almost vulnerable? Or was Daniel's shadow darker than she knew? Her phone buzzed again. Dr. Hayes, reminding her of her mother's fading strength, the urgency of consent for a new, risky treatment. Every decision weighed on her conscience. Caught between corporate wars and family secrets, Emily grappled with a gnawing question. To fight for the truth meant risking everything, including the life of the woman she loved most. And as the city hummed obliviously around her, Emily realized that the path ahead was no longer about survival. It was about reckoning with the sins of the past, the betrayals of the present, and the fragile hope of redemption. Would she betray the family that had protected her, or become the one who finally breaks the cycle of lies? What would you do if the person you trusted most held the key to both your salvation and your destruction? The shadows around her deepened, and Emily knew that the next move would change everything. Because in this game, the cost of truth might just be her own soul. The conference room buzzed softly with the low hum of cameras and whispered questions, but inside, Emily Hawthorne felt an overwhelming silence, a stillness forged from years of secrets, sacrifices, and a lifetime of searching for truth. The grand hall of the Grand Hotel was packed with reporters and flashing lights, all waiting for the moment that would shatter the illusion built by the Hawthorne empire. Emily stood beside Nathan Hawthorne and Daniel Fang, a trio by blood and betrayal, each bearing the weight of decades-old sins and hopes for redemption. Nathan stepped forward first, his voice steady but laced with a vulnerability few had ever seen. "Today we confront the past, not to hide it, but to learn from it. My family's legacy has been stained by deception, and for that I offer my sincerest apology. We commit to rebuilding on a foundation of truth and accountability." Emily's heart pounded as she prepared to speak. This wasn't just about corporate crimes or public scandal. It was her mother's name, her family's honor, the justice that had been denied for far too long. When Emily's voice finally rose, Clear and unwavering, it carried the power of every sleepless night spent by her mother's bedside, every moment of doubt and fear. My mother, Margaret Hawthorne, was a woman of integrity, wrongfully accused and sacrificed to protect those above her. Today, we reveal the truth of what happened and stand united to ensure no one else suffers in silence. The crowd erupted in questions, but the trio held firm, releasing files, documents, and evidence that exposed the web of money laundering, manipulation, and betrayal that had festered for 20 years. Behind the scenes, law enforcement was already moving, indictments in motion, a reckoning finally underway. But as the hours passed, Emily's mind drifted back to the quiet hospital room where her mother lay, fighting a fragile battle that would soon come to an end. The treatments had bought precious time, but the strain was evident in every shallow breath. When the press conference ended, Emily slipped away with Daniel to her mother's side. Margaret's eyes fluttered open as Emily leaned close, gripping her frail hand. "I'm here, Mom," Emily whispered, tears blurring her vision. "We did it. The truth is out." Margaret's lips curled into a faint smile, one of pride and peace that transcended pain. "You are always my light, Emily. The life I fought to protect now shines free." As her mother's hand grew still, a profound stillness settled in the room, mingling sorrow with a sense of closure. Years of struggle and sacrifice had culminated in this bittersweet victory. Justice won, but at a great cost. Nathan and Daniel joined Emily outside the hospital, the city lights painting their faces with hues of hope and renewal. They stood together, three fractured souls bound by the past, but moving toward a future unshackled by lies. Nathan's gaze softened as he looked at Emily. "We have a long road ahead, but maybe, just maybe, we can rebuild something real." Emily nodded, her heart heavy but unburdened. The scars remained, but so did the promise of healing. The story of the Hawthorne family was no longer one of shadows. It was a testament to resilience, truth, and the enduring power of love amidst betrayal. As she walked into the dawn, Emily understood that some legacies were meant to be broken so new ones could rise, fragile, honest, and fiercely human. What did this story make you feel? Did the journey of truth and sacrifice resonate with your own experiences or hopes? If this story touched your heart, type 100 in the comments below. Where are you watching from? We'd love to know your country. Please share this story with your friends and family. Thank you for watching and supporting Life Stories.